Let us see what we are working with. Not bad. Not bad at all. 71 kilos. I'll take that. I hope I'm in the center, because if you have OCD, I'm really sorry. So it's about 11:12 a.m. right now. Yeah, I woke up at like 10:45. Yeah, I have a day off, and I woke up at 10:45 because I was scrolling till 3 a.m. on my phone. Something I need to fix. But anyway, I used to look like this December 4th, 2020, and then I committed to fitness. I started to train hard. I started to train properly. I was serious about it, right? It was basically my life. If you were to look at my search history, you won't find anything else but fitness. It was to that point. December 4th, 2021. This is what I look like. Exactly a year later, I look like this. So I was in the best shape of my life. I'm talking physically, how I felt so good. I was athletic. I was in my school football team. I was crushing it, right? And things went on like that until I slowly started to get distracted with other things. I was getting older. Obviously, I started to get distracted with making money online. I started to get distracted with other things. And I just stopped caring as much about fitness. Fast forward a couple years. In the summer of 2024, I realized I was like, bro, I look the freaking same. Aside from minor changes, I look very similar. I'm just at a higher body weight now. I was like, let me get my stuff together. Let me start, going hard in the gym again. So I decided to go on this bulk. I started to train harder. I started to push myself to failure pretty much every single set. And I was getting stronger. My weight was going up. I was doing weighted pull-ups. I was doing weighted push-ups. It was all going perfectly. Until I tore my rotator cuff playing badminton. July 2024. I didn't know I tore my rotator cuff. I just thought it was a freaking minor shoulder injury or whatever. I went on a 2-week family trip, didn't think much of it. I came back, I played badminton for 3 more weeks and pushed through the pain because I'm a retard. And then I started rehab for it officially in September 2024. September 23rd, 2024, I still remember. So this is what it looked like in September 2024. I still had my base muscle mass, right? I still had a lower body fat. However, slowly but surely, as the weeks went by, as the months went by, I let myself go. I told myself I was gonna bulk, but then I just got fatter. Nothing else happened. I've basically been stuck at that body weight, 71 kilos, as you saw before. Since that point, it was actually 73, but then Ramadan took place, and I think I lost like 1 or 2 kilos in Ramadan, so that's why it's like 71 right now. So anyway, fast forward to the start of 2026, I was gonna lock in. I was pretty much all into this, right? But then I got sick for like 3 weeks, and after that, Ramadan happened. And when I got sick is when I posted the video that you see on my channel. A sick man has only one wish. I didn't work out much in Ramadan. I worked out like less than 5 times in the month of Ramadan, and it was like very minimal stuff. It's safe to say I didn't really train properly for 6 months at least. Because even in Q4 of 2025, October 2025, I was training hard, but then I had a flare up, so I've basically been training submaximally since that point. So it's been almost 6 months since I have been training this. And because of this, because of negligence with my diet, because of negligence with my sleep, as you can tell by me scrolling till 3 a.m. on my phone, I'm ashamed to admit that. I now look like this. Yep, I look pretty bad. Pretty bad. It's not like I'm fat, but it's not like I'm skinny as well. I'm like skinny fat, basically. You can tell like my chest is kind of soft. You can tell my stomach is kind of soft. So basically, I lost my gains. So the question is, how am I getting back to this physique I had? The answer is pretty simple. I'm gonna start working out again. I'll talk about my splits and everything later. When it comes to diet, just eating home cooked food, whole foods basically, right? Not overcomplicating whatsoever. I don't track my calories. I've never tracked my calories consistently for I think more than 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't track my calories much. I made that initial transformation without tracking my calories. And the last pillar is sleep, which I neglect the most, and that you can completely tell by me telling you that I was scrolling till 3 a.m. on my phone, and I slept at like 4:30, and then I woke up at 5:30, and then I went back to bed at like 6:45. Then I woke up at 10:40 basically. So it's about 5 hours of sleep, and I feel the effects of that. But yeah, that's the one thing I need to fix the most. Besides that, it's just walking more, because the state I am in right now is a state perfect for body recomposition. So I'm gonna try and build muscle, lose fat at the same time. I'm detrained as well. I haven't been training properly as well, and again, I had injuries. So I basically fall into the categories of people that are going to benefit from a body recomposition. Probably going to shed a bunch of weight over the next couple months, maybe. Slow weight loss, right? And obviously, inshallah, training gets harder and harder and harder. And so therefore, I build muscle. Okay, I'm going to stop yapping, sorry. And I'm going to start working out. It's like 11:22 right now. And I was supposed to have a meal before this, but I woke up at 10:40. And I got to work out by 11:30. So yeah, I'm going to skip that. That's what happens when you have bad habits. Anyway, I'm going to walk you through my workout as someone who is basically injured. And not injured, I won't say I'm injured, but someone who is dealing with this, right? I have to be careful, and I have to start with the absolute basics. It's been more than 2 weeks since I last worked out, so Let's go. Okay, so this is a voiceover, but this is my warm up, right? And I'm doing these exercises so that I can activate my shoulder. Again, I'm injured, right? So I can activate my shoulder and the muscles around my shoulder so that my shoulder does not give out when I'm doing the actual workout. So I'm starting off with some assisted pull up holds. I'm doing this just to kind of get my back active, right? So that when I actually start my pulling exercises, my back is completely active. Then I'm following that up with some band lateral raises. Again, this is very, very important for me, specifically because I can't do lateral raises right now with a dumbbell. Doing it with bands still trains that movement pattern, yet it's also light enough that I can actually still benefit from the lateral raise. Then following that up with this exercise, which is basically a serratus anterior raise. It's like that, but with a dumbbell. The whole purpose is to activate the serratus anterior so that I can fix my scapular winging. And then following that up with a trap 3 raise. This is very important actually to activate your lower traps because that helps with posture, that helps with activation during pulling movements, right? So that's why I'm doing these. Now, once I'm done with this, I'm following that up with something called a medicine ball throw. I don't have a medicine ball, so I'm using a basketball. So you keep your shoulder retracted as well as depressed, and then you basically use your shoulder through your arm to actually smash the ball again and again and again with the ball itself. And this is very good for actually activating your scapulas. Then following that up with a hang, simple, easy dead hang, nothing too complicated, nothing too crazy. And following that up with scapular raises, very important to actually activate the scapula for the pulling movements. Bro, I just got done with my warm-up. It took me like 22 minutes-ish. And I feel drained. Like, saying that I feel tired is an understatement. I feel drained. And I still have the actual workout left. This was just a warm-up. And that just goes to show how unfit I have become. You know, how like I'm basically out of shape completely now. That does make me sad, but then again, the greater the setback, the bigger the comeback, right? So that's what I'm focused on. But yeah, I'm going to start my push-ups now. And that's what you'll see right now, inshallah. I'm going to walk you through them. And let's get it, bro. I am not looking forward to this one, but I feel super weak right now. And to be very honest with you, I just want to skip this spot. Yeah, here's what it is. I'm going to try and get like 12. But it really depends on how my shoulder feels. Oh. Not bad at all. That actually feels quite decent. But the reason I didn't push to a failure is because... Shut up, bro. If I go too hard right now, I know that's going to bite me in the back. Specifically with my shoulder, because I need to be very careful of when I go close to failure. And right now, I'm just getting back into training. So if I go close to failure, I risk another flare-up. And I'm not in the mood for that. I'm not at all in the mood for that. Now, I'm supersetting this with bodyweight rows. So let's go for that. Indian squat was a shit. And the way I track my difficulty on these, or my progression, is seeing what is the height I've kept them at. Right now they're at about 8.5, and usually I set them at 9, but again, I'm getting back into training. I don't want to risk it, so I'm going for 8.5. And as the workouts progress and as the days go by, as I do more workouts, I'm gonna bring this down to 9, and inshallah we'll go feet elevated and then eventually weighted. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get 12 here as well, so let's go. That felt harder than it should have. Bro, so that felt harder than it should have. And it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it. But, man, was that tough. Wow. So I have 2 more sets of those. Then I have dumbbell external rotations. And then I have the leg portion of the workout. Alright, so I got done with my main portion, which is the push-ups and the rows. But I am drained, bro. Like... To say I feel tired is an understatement. I feel drained. I swear to God, I feel like an absolute beginner, bro. I remember the first time I hung from the pull-up bar outside. I could barely hang for like 10 seconds. I feel like that right now. I feel like so drained and just not in shape whatsoever. But that is the good part, because then I get to relate with all of you out there who may be starting your own journey right now, might have fallen off just like me, right? And you can see me grow, inshallah. And then hopefully that inspires you and you learn a thing or two in these videos. So you go and implement that for your own life as well, for your own training as well. I only have one leg exercise today. That is the ATG split squat. Because again, I'm doing 3 times a week full body. So I've distributed the entire leg volume throughout the 3 days. So I only have like 3 sets of that and like 2 sets of Patrick steps just to warm up. I'm going to play some old footage for the external rotations as well. So yeah, just bear with me. The reason I do these is because I need to, again, strengthen my rotator cuffs, right? Because it's not just enough to strengthen the external muscles, right? For example, the chest, the deltoids, right? The front delt, side delt, rear delt, or the back. It's not enough. You need to strengthen the muscles internally as well, right? So I don't know if the rotator cuff is a muscle, but point is you can train it and you can make it stronger. And that is exactly what I'm doing right now. And I'll probably be training this muscle for the rest of my life. That is what comes with having an injury. It just helps a lot more with being resilient and not really getting injured that easily. But try to do about 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds down. 1, 2, 3, 3-second pause and up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Boom. It burns so bad. 1, 2, 3. 12. Boom. Oh, man, does that burn. Jeez. All right, so we're now moving on to the leg portion of the workout, and I haven't trained legs in like a month and a half. And I didn't train them in the entirety of Ramadan. I did not train them 3 weeks before Ramadan. So yeah, it's been almost 2 months since I haven't trained legs, and it feels painful to admit that, but it ain't the truth. So right now I'm warming up with some backward walking on the treadmill because my knees aren't the best. Like, I did knees over toes guys program for like a couple months, and that really helped me, you know, alhamdulillah. But now that it's been a while since I've trained legs, I'm back here. I'm back on the treadmill. And in general, even if I didn't have knee pain, I still do these because it's very good for blood flow in your knees. So I'm gonna do like 2 minutes. So I know you can't see me properly because of the railing, I apologize, but what I'm doing right now is something called the Patrick step. I learned this from Ben Patrick, and it's a freaking fantastic exercise. But the reason I'm doing this again is just to activate my knee before the actual ATG split squat. I've had bad knees basically since I was like 14 years old, I think. 15 years old. I used to play football or soccer for the Americans out there. As far as I remember, I wouldn't warm up properly, ever. I just get into playing the game, right? And so that definitely bit me in the back, but I'm not sure exactly why I have bad knees. The way I track these, or my difficulties, I just see which stair step have I kept my foot at. So right now I'm going to start with the second, right where my foot was. And that is because, again, I used to do it with weight at like the first stair step. But I'm going to do it at the second one because, again, I'm just getting back into this, and I'm going to do it completely body weight, right? My knee already feels a bit iffy, my left one. I don't want to make it worse. So I'm going to start slow. And again, just try and do 3 sets of 15. Not try. I am going to do, inshallah, 3 sets of 15. And I'm going to slowly, eventually, you know, add some weight here. Maybe go up to like 10 kilos, which is about like 22 pounds. And then I'm going to then go to the first step. And that's when I'm going to start building up to, inshallah, 30 kilos, which is about like, I don't know how much, like 60 pounds? Maybe 70 pounds? I'm not sure, but yeah, that is the plan. Alright, so that is the first set done and dusted. I'm going to do 2 more, and then I'll catch you when I'm actually either sitting down to eat, or when I'm going to explain my program and what I'm doing to get in this shape that I want to get to, inshallah. So that being said, let's go. Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through what I had for lunch, as well as the workout I'm going to do for the next couple of weeks at least. And then when I feel like, okay, my shoulder's starting to get better, when I feel like I can't take on more volume, that's when I'm going to add a few things. But besides that, it's going to basically be the same. Now, when it comes to lunch, for context, usually my breakfast and dinner, if I have breakfast, are the same. Right, they're the same every single day. I eat the same thing every single day for breakfast and dinner, pretty much, right? And then for lunch, I'll have whatever my mom made, right? And usually it's food that brown people eat because I'm from a brown family. So for lunch today, I had 2 pieces of flatbread, and then I had 220 grams of sauteed chicken. Again, I don't track my calories. I was just curious to see how much I'm eating right now, and this is actually very beneficial. Even if you don't want to track your calories, tracking them for just like 1 week or even 2 weeks can do wonders, because then you get an idea of, okay, this is how much I'm eating on a day-to-day basis, right? This is how many calories I'm eating every single day. Again, an estimate, right? And this is my portion size right now. Alongside that, if you track your weight every single day, you're going to get a very solid idea of how much you're eating and how is that impacting your weight. So now when you stop tracking, you still have an idea of, okay, I'm eating this much, and if, let's say, my weight is increasing, I can reduce it by a slight bit and therefore I'm gonna start, losing a bit more weight. So that's the concept behind it. I had about 140 grams of taro, and then I had a bunch of cucumbers and some yogurt. So that was lunch basically, right? I didn't have breakfast today. Now, when it comes to the workout program, it's very, very simple, stupidly simple. It's 3 times a week, full body, and I used to do upper lower, or I was doing upper lower upper, because I'd always end up skipping like one lower workout, or it just would not be a productive workout. So instead of keeping all this volume for legs in just one day, I kind of distributed that in 3 days, right? Hence the 3 times a week full body split. And same thing with upper body, right? Workout A, which you saw me do today, that rhymed, was a superset of push-ups and ring rows to start with, right? 3 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions. Dumbbell external rotations. Then I have dumbbell bicep curls, getting something in for the arms. I didn't do that today because I was short on time. And I also want to take it gradually. But again, this is very important for me because I haven't trained my arms in quite a long time as they're really skinny, because I was really focused on fixing my shoulder. But now that it's improved quite a bit, I can train arms. To end the workout, we have ATG split squats. This is a form of split squats I saw from Ben Patrick, and I've been doing those for quite some time now before I took this 1.5 month gap for training legs. But it is fantastic. It is fantastic because you get full knee flexion, and ideally you should do this to the point where your calf touches your hamstring. The amount of pressure on your quad, if you keep your quad active, is insane. So that's my simple workout there. It took me about an hour and a half because of the 20-25 minute warm up. But if you were to just, be focused, and if I wasn't filming today, I'd probably could have gotten this done in like an hour. Now let's come to workout B. And this one is focused on vertical movements for the upper body, and for the legs, it's focused on the hamstrings, right? Because we tackled quads and we tackled the horizontal push and pull in workout A. So it's time to focus on the opposite, vertical push and pull, as well as hamstrings in workout B. So we have single arm dumbbell overhead press. This is the one movement that really feels good on my shoulder, right? Because when I do press, I was doing overhead press before and it just did not feel the best. So when I switched to single arm dumbbell overhead press, it felt freaking fantastic because I can move my shoulder, right? I would like to do pike push-ups because I love pike push-ups, right? Or handstand push-ups. But again, I can't do those right now because of the amount of stress they place on the shoulder and because it's very difficult to progress them, right? There's massive jumps that you take in terms of the load on your shoulders when you do pike push-ups, right? Every progression is a bigger jump. So that's why I was like, let me just go with weights. That's why I'm doing single arm dumbbell overhead press. And then we have pull-ups assisted, 3 sets of 8 to 15. I'm doing assisted right now because I'm introducing this after a gap. For me, pull-ups, right, it does place a lot of stress on my shoulder. Therefore, I need to start off with assisted, build that for a couple weeks, and then I can start adding in actual pull-ups. Then I have Nordic curls or hamstring curls. I'm going to try a ghetto setup because I have a cable, right, that I can attach to my pull-up bar, and then I can maybe do hamstring curls. I'm not so sure. I haven't tried that out. So if I can do hamstring curls, I'm going to do those because it's just easier, bro, to increase the load on them and progress them. So 3 sets of 10 to 20. I saw this from Alex Leonidas, by the way. If I can do that, then Nordic curls for 3 sets of 30 to 45 seconds, isometrics to start. And then eventually I'm going to start tinkering with actual eccentric, concentric movements. Then we have single arm tricep push downs. Very, very good for the long head. Absolutely fantastic because I have the ghetto cable, right? Because I have the ghetto cable set up. I can do those. And then to finish it off, cable rear dead flies. Again, getting something in for the back of the shoulder just to strengthen this part of my shoulder. Then for workout C, this is very similar to workout A except a few changes. So again, we start off with a superset of push-ups and ring rows, 3 sets of 8 to 15. Then again, same thing, dumbbell external rotations, dumbbell bicep curls, ATG split squat. The only difference is the RDO, the Romanian deadlift, right? 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12. Again, depends on how I feel, depends on how my hamstrings feel from workout B. Because if I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then I'm going to be doing my hamstrings on Wednesday, right? So I don't know how much that is going to interfere with my RDLs on Friday. That is the workout I'm going to be following, inshallah, for probably a month and a half. And then when I feel like I can handle vertical pulling, and vertical pushing twice a week instead of just once a week, right? If my shoulder can bear that, then I'm going to change up a few things and I'll inshallah make a video on that as well. But that is my workout. It's so simple. And again, I've gone back to the basics because I used to complicate everything. And this is one of the things I'm really, focusing on this time, which is simplicity, right? I used to overcomplicate everything, overcomplicate every single workout of mine. Right, but now I'm just going to keep things simple. And also, this is not optimal by any means. You can see I'm training biceps twice a week, triceps once a week, even though triceps are a bigger portion of your arm. But it's just because right now I'm not necessarily in a phase where I can build properly, right? I'm in a phase where I'm building up to building properly, building up to being able to train properly. Therefore, the requirements are different. Eventually, these workouts will get better. It's just when am I prepared to take on the extra load, And again, you would be like, bro, full body, that takes so much time. It took me an hour and a half today. But I'm like, bro, an hour and a half, 3 times a week, like, it's not that much. Like, it's what, 4.5 hours a week? If you can't dedicate 4.5 hours a week to your health and fitness, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And again, that was an hour and a half with filming plus my long warm up. If you are not injured yet, then you can get by with like 3 hours a week. 3 hours a week. Then you can spend the rest of your time with your family or, at work, whatever tickles your fancy. So that was the very first video of this whole series. And hopefully, inshallah, many more to come. Many more to come. But that being said, I'm just going to document this whole journey. And I hope that you found some value in this video. That being said, I'll catch you in the next one, inshallah. Peace.